What up? This video is the third video for cell respiration. It's on the second half of page 2. Okay, and in this video, we're going to talk about two very important topics within cell respiration called oxidation and reduction reactions. Okay, so oxidation and reduction reactions. Um, Basically, the whole process of cellular respiration is a whole bunch of oxidation and reduction reactions. So what that means is, remember that energy is stored in bonds. Every bond that's in a molecule has energy in it. So when molecules are oxidized, it means that something is broken off of them and it releases that energy. Okay. Now, a lot of times where that energy can't just disappear, that energy has to go somewhere. So, a lot of times where that energy goes is it goes into another molecule that's close by and basically bonds whatever came off to that other molecule. So, in this case, in this picture, and this is pretty much just like the picture that's in your notes, you can see that molecule A here and molecule B. So what happens is there's a hydrogen on molecule A, and what happens is if you break this bond, you release energy. So molecule A now loses energy, and this hydrogen is going to come over here, and it's going to join over here to molecule B, and that means that basically if I form this new bond, that means that molecule B is going to gain energy. Okay. Now the terms oxidized and reduced. So this reaction here, this is an oxidation reaction. Basically an oxidation reaction, and you might want to make a note of this. This is where something is removed from a molecule. Okay, so in this case, the hydrogen is removed. So that's called an oxidation reaction. And when something is oxidized, it means the molecule loses energy. Because if I break this bond, there's not going to be as much energy in this molecule. Okay, and then on this side, this is your molecule B, and it gains energy because basically this hydrogen comes over and I form a new bond, and when I form that new bond, it's gaining energy because now it has more bonds than it used to have. So we call this molecule B, we call that a reduction reaction, and we say that molecule B was reduced. Okay. It gets a little bit confusing because a lot of times students don't think this is reduced, because a lot of times we think as reduced as in getting rid of stuff, but in this case it's the opposite. So oxiduction is when you remove something, reduction is when you gain something. Okay, so very, very important there. So in your notes, it says any chemical change in which an atom or molecule loses electrons or hydrogen atoms. In this case, in our case, it's going to be hydrogen atoms, which basically means the same thing kind of as electrons, because a hydrogen atom has one electron. So the reason this is called reduction is because it's kind of gaining a negative in a way. But you don't really need to know all that stuff. Just know that basically when you remove the hydrogen that comes over here, this gets oxidized, this gets reduced. Okay, and it says this substance during oxidation releases energy. So energy is released and goes into here. Okay, and then this gains energy. So reduction is any chemical change in which an atom or molecule gains electrons or hydrogen. So this is reduction because it's gaining the hydrogen. Okay, the substance is said to be reduced. The substance gains energy. Now, the reason this is important for cell respiration is because basically the whole process is a whole bunch of oxidation and reduction reactions. Anytime you have an oxidation reaction, you have to reduce something else, because if I'm releasing and breaking this bond, this has to go somewhere. So whenever you have an oxidation reaction, at the exact same moment, something else must be getting reduced. So basically, this is how energy travels during the reactions. Okay, because remember, cell respiration is the transfer of energy from one molecule to another. This is how the energy travels. Okay, so basically, during respiration, we're going to be, and you may want to add this, we're going to be oxidizing glucose because we're going to be breaking bonds on glucose. So glucose gets oxidized, and then we're going to be eventually making ATP. ATP is going to be what's called, what gets reduced, because you're basically going to be um, adding the energy that gets oxidized onto the ATP. Okay, so it says for letter C on there, it says oxidation and reduction reactions are simply two aspects of a single chemical reaction. They must occur at the same time. Thus, when one substance of a chemical reaction is oxidized, another must be reduced. So oxidation, reduction. Okay, gains energy, loses energy. Two very, very important topics as we move through the next few days. So far in our videos, a lot of this information is just introductory information. I'd really encourage you to go back, maybe rewatch the videos again, make sure you understand it, because beginning in the next few videos, if you don't get what we already talked about, you're going to be lost. Okay, so it's really important that you understand this stuff, understand cellular respiration, know what it does. Takes energy and food, makes usable energy. Know and understand how photosynthesis and respiration are similar and different. Know the processes of each, and then understand and make sure you know the chemical equation, and then also understand the difference between oxidation and reduction reactions. Okay, so that's video number 3. And probably 1 or maybe 2 days of notes. The student's going to go quick, so please make sure you're keeping up. All right, see ya. Peace.